Oh, hi, yes, it's Ian Burns here over in Rjekjovic in Iceland as we speak. Just had some wonderful news through from the Cannes Film Festival screenwriting competition, which has nominated me as the runner up, the second place, the losing finalist, in other words, in the Cannes Film Festival screenwriting competition for my screenplay Charlie Chaplin Part 1, which is part 1 of a trilogy on the life of Charlie Chaplin. It's a comedy and it is pretty much factually based. And so it's completely different from the 1992 film called Chaplin. And so I think it could work quite nicely as a movie and possibly get Robert Downey Jr. to play Charlie Chaplin again, because he did such a sterling job in 1992 movie, and he looks about the same now as he did then, so it doesn't seem like there'd be too much of a problem physically with him doing that all of these 26 years later. Anyway, on the back of that, I'm rather hoping that I might be able to get some representation for my screenwriting now in the form of a literary agent. I mean, I've got a ton of different screenplays which I've written, a lot of which I think are very viable. The first one which I wrote went by the name of Pearls. I subsequently renamed it My Sister's Wedding, and it follows the life of a character called Phil Andorra, who arrives from Australia in London, and he gets a job at a record company, and he sort of hooks up with a Lucy character who turns out to be the daughter of the chap who becomes the owner of the company, unbeknownst to him, and he's kind of desperately trying to get ahead in the game by marrying the right woman. Anyway, he doesn't treat her particularly well, Lucy, and knight in shining armour Hackman steps in, who also works at the same company in a slightly more senior position, and Andorra was by sheer chance given an amazing opportunity to save the day, because he comes into contact with Olive Humperdinckle, and the owner of the company at that time, Mr. Lion Records, has set this challenge to anybody in the company that if that person can sign Olive Humperdinckle to the record label, then he'll immediately make that person his second in command. Now Andorra comes into contact with Olive Humperdinckle one evening, and he doesn't recognize her, and he treats her rather shoddily, and therefore he messes that one up as well. So it's kind of a lot of missed opportunities. Anyway, Hackman, in the meantime, his courtship with Lucy is going great guns, and he and Lucy we see on their wedding day, a few weeks later, Andorra shows up unexpectedly, rather like out of The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman, and starts shouting, "Lucy, Lucy," and Lucy, surprisingly, to the gasps of all of the congregation, runs off towards Andorra, and the two of them exit the church by the side door and jump on a bus. Andorra immediately his interest is taken by one of the other women on the bus. Lucy starts to have second thoughts about a decision that she's made. A few months later, their fortunes have tumbled, and he and she are seen in a rusty old car doing cold call insurance sales, door knock, and he goes to try to sell the insurance on the doorstep of this house. She's in the car reading a postcard from her sister April, who is off comforting Hackman after having been jilted at the altar, and she notices that Phil Andorra has disappeared off the doorstep. She goes up the garden path to investigate, catches him in flagrante delicto, and she marches off down the street. And a few days later, she's seen at the